So this video is more targeted towards people who are wondering what collector boxes that they can buy or when they can find opportunity in the markets for stuff like Magic the Gathering. I would say this applies to stuff like Pokemon, any trading card game, any collectible space. It's the general principle of this, and the reason why I'm making this video is because me too. I have gone online, I've read comments, and I have been negatively, or I've let it negatively affect my opinion or perspective on these markets. I believe that the comment sections for any collectible space, any type of investing space, is going to severely mislead you. And I'm going to give my reason why I think you need to change to perspective closer to what mine is, or to maybe even just like a completely neutral robotic perspective, which that one's going to be hard to do. So let's break into it. Now, anytime when Wizards of the Coast puts out a secret layer or a new product, you look at the comments or you look at the Reddit posts and there's complaint after complaint. Now, sometimes they can get over, or they can get past this with stuff like Tarkir, where everyone's like, oh my God, I love them. Stuff like that. I mean, sure, you're going to have a lot of positivity. But when it comes to products like Doctor Who or Fallout, or even some of the secret layer decks that they make, these commander decks, here's the one that I want to mention for those decks is the Angel deck. Now, you look at the comment sections, or when this first released, people are like, dude, it doesn't even have Avacyn in it, or something like that. They want these decks to be stuffed with every single playable card that you could ever even possibly imagine. Or sometimes you'll see a secret layer come out and they'll say, hey, where's the dragon subtext? Like, you guys don't put something with dragons in it. It's like, come on, guys. They can't print every card into one product. They're not going to do that. Even then, even if it's a themed product, they're not going to print every single playable staple into that product. They're intentionally missing a few. So with this Angel deck, and this one, you could have bought it for, I believe, like a good week or so. I think this one was print to demand. So you could have bought this whenever, got the Angel deck for $150. I think right now, a couple years later, this is reselling for about $600. Let's say $500. Let's say you take off all the fees and some market fluctuation. Let's say $500. You can resell that sealed deck for $500 less than 3 years later. Now, that's about three times returns. That's amazing for anything. And if you had listened to the comments, or if you were swayed by other people's opinions saying there's no point to buy this, this useless junk, Wizards, come on, you got to give us something better, you would have missed out. You would have missed out big time. Now, at the time, I didn't go as hard as I do now on Magic the Gathering, but I did buy one deck because I was like, this is a product for me, I'm buying a deck. After that, the price had gone up, and it had moved up to like $200, $300. Now, here's the perspective that I now take, and that you should take too. When a product moves up from $150 to $200, $300, you could say, oh, it's manipulation, or oh, the price is going to pull back, and you might be right in the short term. But unfortunately for you, every single collectible that is limited printed or limited in any way, whether it be art or something like a booster box, which they're never going to reprint a collector box from a couple years ago. It's not happening. Or some of the old Pokemon sets, or whatever it might be. Even though the price has moved up from wherever it was resold at, or whatever it debuted at, whatever price it was, $150 for the Angel one. Let's say it moves up 2x. It's $300 now. Sure, that's a lot of money that you've lost. It's like you could have got in half the price. But at this point, how do you proceed? I say you ask yourself this: do you like this item? Is it for you? Is it a theme that's for you? even if you are only in it for the financials, can you look at this item and say, I actually like this? I would love for this to be in my collection, on my shelf, because even if you're buying for investing purposes, that's your collection. You have a collection of investments, in my view. These are collectibles. You like them to some degree. That's why you stumbled upon the market for the most part. You like something about it. Even if it's that you only like the idea of buying and hoarding sealed product, that's what you like about it. You like growing your sealed product collection. So I would say you ask yourself that. Do I like this? Is this something that I like? Is it a product that I like? If yes, you should buy it. Because all of these items will move up. But if you like it, odds are someone else likes it for that exact same reason. And so when you go in and you buy the item, you put it on your shelf, you forget about it, you come back a year later, and the markets do their thing, you're usually going to be very well in the green, especially when it comes to secret layers, especially when it comes to collector boxes. The reason being is for that Pokemon effect, where collectors like nice art. They like things to remember these games that they have fond attachment for. Maybe it's a Commander player for Magic the Gathering that wants to get the most expensive cards to load up his Commander deck with. He wants the most expensive version for everything. There's players like that out there. I'm sure you've done that before with some cards. You've said, okay, this is the most expensive version. It looks the nicest. Or you said, this has the best art for me. I'm willing to pay a substantial amount more to get this art. You've almost definitely made that purchase before if you play Magic, Commander. But even if not, you can kind of see the principle I'm talking about, where you want to buy stuff that you like. So one of the drops that came up was the SpongeBob secret lair, and they had a bunch of mini drops in it. There was some dragon secret layers. There was the tragic romance secret layer. And to me, out of everything, I kind of like the SpongeBob meme. I mean, sure, that was mostly to speculate on. I did want one copy, though, just because I wanted to mark this moment in time that this meme set of SpongeBob dropped in Magic the Gathering. I now have a piece of that. But the one that stood out to me, the one that was definitely for me, was the tragic romance. I like angels. I like demons. And the art was amazing. And Kalia is such a popular commander that I was like, even if this one bombs, I want some copies of this. So that's the one I went into. I knew everyone was going in on SpongeBob, but I went in on tragic romance. What do you know? It sells out. I think it was the first to sell out. And the price goes from, you could have bought these for $40, and then I was pre-selling these online for like $140. That's 3x overnight practically. That's almost 4x overnight. So that's amazing, and I think that shows how some of the secret layer hype, if the art aligns, if it's something that you like, a lot of other people can like it for those same reasons why you're finding that you like it. And if the art aligns, if the value aligns, which this one, the value didn't exactly align, but it was, that's only because Kalia has been reprinted so many times. But how many times has she been reprinted with the secret layer? So this one, I felt like it was her best art that they've had. I think almost every Kalia player is going to want this art, or they're going to want to consider it. And it was also kind of like sexual. It was Kalia having a relationship with the dragon, and also there was like an angel doing their thing, I think it was like an LGBTQ couple type lean. Regardless of how you feel like that, there's a lot of people who want both of those things. They want their dragon on angel action, whatever it might be. So I saw that one as like the pure winner. I saw it before the layer even dropped. For sale. It was pretty obvious that one was going to be blown out. So I guess back from rambling, I definitely recognize that not only do most collectibles go up, but the best way to identify collectibles that you should be picking up in mass, if that's your angle, is ones that you like yourself. Because if you like it yourself, you're going to have an easier time sitting on it. You're going to have a harder time letting go of it. Yes, that is the one problem with it. But you yourself can trust yourself and identify great decisions and great returns in these collectible markets. The last one was Deadpool, and personally, I think it's going to be a slam out of a purchase. It doesn't matter that it didn't sell out immediately. I think that in the coming months, when the non-foil gets released to the WPN stores, that's almost free advertising for anyone who has a copy of the foil. You're going to see people coming into the store looking and saying, there's no foil version? And then they're going to look online and say, oh, this guy has the foil version. Let me just order it. You're also going to have, whenever those announcements happen, the same thing. It's Deadpool. So he has a massive following. It's just like Wolverine, but more modern. A lot more modern people like Deadpool, and Wolverine is kind of more for like an older audience. So I feel like Deadpool has more better time horizon on this. And I mean, think out like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years. They're never reprinting these arts for Deadpool. Even if they did another print for Deadpool, they're never going to use the same art for any of the other cards, especially stuff like Deadly Rollick, which is a massive Commander staple. So I think it's obvious that the ones that feel obvious sometimes are. You just have to wait. You have to wait for all the people who are looking to scalp and flip to blow it out. You pretty much have to forget about it. You buy the thing, you forget about it, you put it in storage, and then you come back in a year and you go, oh, I'm sitting on gold. That's how you win reselling in these collectible markets. And that's how you should approach these secret layers. All these secret layers could potentially be you're sitting on gold. And if there's ever a run for secret layers, if that ever takes off, where people are recognizing that all of these arts are slowly drying up in the market, and that they notice the trend that most secret layers are just steadily rising, people are going to just start buying secret layers in the secondary market. And then you're just going to have, an even bigger run up. Just like the collector boxes. What makes secret layers a different product than collector boxes? It has Magic the Gathering playables with special art. Some of them even have some Gamba in it, where like the SpongeBob one has the Smothering Tithe, the Miku has Snapcaster Mage, Fallout with the Mana Vault. So it's just a mini collector box. The only thing that's different is you know what cards are in it, but often the values were designed to match the market price, which is $50. And that's pretty much what you're getting for most of these secret layers. $40, $30, $40, $50. Some of them are kind of duds, like the Lord of the Rings one, but even those, you can see the price go to like 80, 90, 100. Like, I don't know why that Lord of the Rings one with like it's like $5 singles is like $80+. Check that out and you'll see what I mean, where it doesn't even have to have good value, and these things can run up crazy. That's pretty much it. It's my market perspective on how you should be purchasing collectibles, and let me know what you think.